Some homes look expensive without being filled with expensive things. Scandinavian interiors are a perfect example of how thoughtful choices can make an ordinary space feel polished and refined. The secret isn't luxury furniture or a huge decorating budget. It's knowing how to use color, light, space, texture, and a few well-chosen details. Once you understand these principles, even a modest home can feel remarkably elegant. If you enjoy practical Scandinavian home ideas, subscribe to Habit Archive for more simple ways to make your home feel better. The first thing you notice in a refined Scandinavian room is how calmly the colors work together. Soft white, beige, gray, and muted earthy tones create a controlled visual palette. Nothing competes for attention or makes the room feel visually restless. Even inexpensive furniture looks more cohesive when the colors around it are carefully coordinated. You don't need dozens of shades to make a room interesting. A few complementary colors can make the entire space feel considered. Natural wood gives Scandinavian interiors a warmth that painted surfaces often can't provide. But you don't need solid wood furniture throughout the entire home. One oak table, wooden shelves, or a simple bench can create the same visual effect. The natural grain adds character without needing extra decoration. It also softens the cooler tones commonly used on walls and fabrics. A little visible wood can make an ordinary room feel much more substantial. Expensive furniture can still look wrong when it is the wrong size for a room. Scandinavian interiors pay close attention to proportion. A sofa should leave enough breathing room around it. Tables shouldn't overwhelm the walking paths. Chairs, cabinets, and lighting also need to relate to the size of the space. When everything fits naturally, the room immediately feels more professionally designed. Curtains have more influence on a room than most people expect. Panels that reach the floor create a longer, cleaner vertical line. Hanging them closer to the ceiling can also make the windows appear taller. Simple linen or cotton curtains can achieve the effect without designer prices. They soften hard architectural lines while allowing natural light through. The right curtain length can make an ordinary room feel instantly more finished. A rug can make separate pieces of furniture feel like one complete arrangement. That's why larger rugs often look more sophisticated than several tiny ones. The main furniture should sit comfortably within the rug's visual boundary. This creates a clear zone for conversation, dining, or relaxing. It also makes the room feel more intentional rather than pieced together. You don't need an expensive rug when the size and placement are right. Lighting can completely change how expensive a room appears. One bright ceiling light often creates flat and harsh shadows. Several smaller lights create depth and atmosphere instead. A table lamp can illuminate one corner, while a floor lamp adds warmth elsewhere. Soft lighting also makes wood, fabric, and walls look richer. Good lighting doesn't have to be expensive, it just has to be intentional. Small hardware details can quietly affect how a kitchen looks. Mismatched handles can make even good cabinets feel disconnected. Repeating one finish creates a much cleaner visual line. Brushed metal, matte black, or simple wood can all work beautifully. You don't need to replace the entire kitchen to achieve the effect. Sometimes changing a few handles is enough to make the room feel more intentional. A room doesn't look more luxurious simply because it has more decoration. Too many objects compete with one another. A few carefully chosen pieces create stronger focal points. Empty space around those objects makes them easier to appreciate. One beautiful vase can have more impact than 10 small ornaments. Restraint often creates the quiet confidence associated with expensive interiors. Neutral colors become much more interesting when different textures are introduced. Smooth ceramics feel different beside rough woven baskets. Linen, wool, wood, and cotton each catch light in their own way. These subtle differences create depth without adding bright colors. The room stays calm while still feeling layered and luxurious. Texture gives simplicity more character. Furniture with complicated shapes can quickly make a room feel dated. Clean silhouettes tend to stay attractive for much longer. Straight lines and gentle curves create a quieter visual structure. They also allow the materials and textures to become more noticeable. Simple furniture is often easier to combine when your style changes later. Timeless shapes can save money because they don't need constant replacing. Plants bring life into a neutral interior, but filling every corner with greenery can have the opposite effect. One large healthy plant can create a stronger visual statement. Its natural shape also breaks up straight architectural lines. Green leaves look especially striking contrasting against warm whites and natural wood. The result feels fresh without becoming crowded. Repeating a material makes separate pieces feel connected. The same warm wood tone might appear on a table, shelf, and small tray. That doesn't mean buying a matching furniture set. Just a few repeated details can create visual continuity. The eye naturally connects those elements across the room. This simple repetition makes the interior feel deliberately designed. The entryway creates the first impression of the entire home. A small space can still feel sophisticated when everything has a clear purpose. A simple bench, mirror, and concealed storage can be enough. Keeping the floor clear makes the entrance feel larger immediately. Good organization also prevents everyday belongings from becoming part of the decoration. When the first few steps inside feel calm, the whole home feels more considered. Artwork doesn't have to be expensive to make a wall look impressive. What matters more is choosing the right size for the space. Tiny artwork can disappear above a large sofa. One substantial print can create a much stronger focal point. The frame should also relate naturally to the furniture beneath it. Good scale can make affordable artwork look surprisingly sophisticated. Natural light is one of the most powerful design features a home already has. Blocking windows with bulky furniture wastes that advantage. Keeping the area around windows open allows daylight to travel farther into the room. Light also reveals the natural colors and textures of furniture more clearly. During the day, you may need very little artificial lighting. Sometimes the cheapest way to improve a room is simply to let more daylight inside. Packaging creates visual noise faster than almost anything else in a kitchen. Bright boxes and plastic packets can distract from otherwise beautiful surroundings. Moving everyday ingredients into simple containers creates a much calmer view. The kitchen still works exactly the same way, only the visual information has been reduced. Sometimes making a room look more expensive simply means hiding what doesn't need to be seen. Fabrics cover a surprisingly large part of most rooms. When curtains are wrinkled or cushions look flat, the whole interior can appear tired. Keeping textiles clean, steamed, and properly arranged costs very little. Fluffy cushions immediately restore shape to a sofa. A neatly folded throw can also make the room feel cared for. Good maintenance often creates the appearance of luxury without buying anything new. Good interiors feel balanced even when everything isn't symmetrical. A large sofa may need a substantial lamp, plant, or cabinet nearby to balance its visual weight. Smaller objects can disappear beside very large furniture. Empty space can also be useful because it prevents one side of the room from feeling overloaded. The goal is not perfect symmetry. It's creating a composition that feels stable and comfortable to look at. Not every item deserves the same part of your decorating budget. It makes more sense to invest in things you touch and use constantly. A comfortable sofa can matter more than an expensive ornament. Good bedding may improve the bedroom more than decorative accessories. A solid dining chair can also be worth more than a collection of objects nobody uses. Selective spending creates quality where it actually matters. Highly glossy surfaces can sometimes make a room feel more commercial than residential. Matte finishes absorb light softly and create a quieter appearance. This works especially well on walls, cabinetry, ceramics, and furniture. The subtle finish also makes natural materials feel more sophisticated. Fingerprints and small imperfections are less noticeable on many matte surfaces. A restrained finish can make affordable pieces look far more refined. A room becomes easier to appreciate when the eye knows where to look first. Scandinavian interiors often give one feature enough space to become the natural focal point. It might be a beautiful pendant light, an artwork, a fireplace, or a distinctive piece of furniture. Everything else remains quieter so that feature can stand out. This creates visual hierarchy instead of making every object compete for attention. One memorable detail can therefore make an entire room feel more thoughtfully designed. Then, inexpensive photographs and artwork can look better when they're framed well. Thin, simple frames often suit Scandinavian interiors particularly well. Keeping the frame style consistent creates a cleaner collection. Natural wood can add warmth, while black can create a sharper contrast. The artwork itself doesn't need to be valuable or rare. A thoughtful frame can make an ordinary piece feel much more finished. Thin, simple frames often suit Scandinavian interiors particularly well. Looking expensive isn't really about making your home look luxurious. It's about making every part of the room feel intentional. When color, proportion, lighting, and materials work together, even simple pieces can look remarkably refined. You don't have to replace everything to get there. Start with one small change and let the room evolve naturally. Thanks for watching Habit Archive, and I'll see you in the next video.